Two so-called Democrats have announced that they will buck their party's intention to filibuster Judge Neil Gorsuch and vote for his confirmation. Now, you will not be surprised that one of them is our favorite Republican, Senator Joe Manchin. Oh, did I say Republican? I meant Democrat. I mean, you might as well call him a Republican for the way he votes. In reality, of course, he has become the first Senate Democrat to throw his support behind President Trump's Supreme Court nominee. He said, "I will vote to confirm Judge Neil Gorsuch to be the 9th Justice on the Supreme Court." And look, he tweeted this out on Twitter, which, again, seems to be an even more important medium now that Donald Trump is president, because unfortunately, that seems to be where we get a lot of our news now. Now, before even announcing his support on Twitter, Manchin said that he would vote to limit debate on Gorsuch and move his nomination forward. What, debate? We don't need debate. No. This is a Trump nominee. He's a very, very conservative. Let's move him forward. Let's go. No, he doesn't need debate. He doesn't need a hearing. Let's just go. Send him on. But wait, this is a guy who was more conservative than Antonin Scalia. He is to the right of this guy. Now, how can any Democrat consider voting for him? Hearing is a different thing. The presidential nominees normally deserve a hearing. Now, of course, I'll get to that hypocrisy in a minute. But you're voting for him. You're saying, yeah, we like this guy who is more conservative than Antonin Scalia, who is much more extreme and very, very pro-corporate. So that's Joe Manchin. Look, the guy, he's not a Democrat. This guy is nothing more than a right-winger with a D next to his name. That's what this is. And of course, he's not the only one who's voting for Judge Gorsuch. Shortly after Manchin announced his position, Heidi Heitkamp of North Dakota, another big surprise, became the second Democratic yes vote on Gorsuch. She said, I'm going to vote for him. I'm going to vote for this guy. Heidi, what are you doing? Well, you're being a conservative. That's what you're being. Look, these people either think that, hey, man, this is what my voters want, an extremely right-wing corporatist, or they think, I don't care what my voters want. I want an extremely right-wing corporatist judge. Either way, man. Look, the thing is, this is what frustrates me with the Democrats. Now, they look at Joe Manchin, and we've heard this all throughout the primary, all throughout the election, in criticism of Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders is not a real Democrat. Why? He's progressive. He is progressive like the old school Democrats before the Clinton third way. What makes him not a Democrat? Oh, that's right. Doesn't have a D next to his name, even though he caucuses with the Democrats all the time. But Joe Manchin, well, now that's a real Democrat. Let me tell you what, folks. That is a real Democrat. He is one of us. He is part of the party. Except that he always votes for the Republicans. Almost always. On almost every issue. So of course, Manchin is one of them. Sanders is not. And that was a consistent criticism I've heard, which is ridiculous. But look, the thing is that, okay, maybe you're right. Bernie Sanders is not a Democrat. He's not one of them. He's actually far more progressive, which means he happens to be in line with the majority of the country, even in West Virginia. Now, I know about people be scoffing at that, saying, oh, come on, dude, West Virginia is super conservative. I mean, they love coal there. They absolutely do love coal there. However, if you can remember, Bernie Sanders was the only guy that kept going back to McDowell County in West Virginia and getting Trump supporters to cheer for single payer, to agree that, yes, we would love to go towards a single payer Medicare for all system, as well as taxing the rich, as well as getting the corporate influence out of our politics. These are progressive positions. And these are the people that overwhelmingly voted for Trump. Why did they vote for Trump if they have progressive positions? Because they want to change. They wanted health care. They wanted good jobs. They only, look, yes, they're big into coal. West Virginia is huge into coal. And you don't want to know why. I mean, not only do they have a proud tradition of burning and digging coal and working in the coal mines, but also it provides jobs and health care. Now, it's actually one of the jobs, one of the only jobs in these areas that actually pays enough for people to be able to raise a family. Well, you know what would fix that? A $15 minimum wage and universal health care. Without that, these people could choose to leave the coal mining business if they wanted to and still be able to support their families. You don't think that would go a long way into reducing dependence on coal? Because coal is dying. Whether or not anybody wants to admit it, and of course nobody on the right wants to admit it, and it's not the regulations that have killed coal. It's other external market factors that have killed coal. The rise of other energy sources, clean energy sources. Coal is on its way out. And we all know it. And look, Donald Trump's not going to be able to bring back the coal industry. That is not something that's going to happen. So, and we need to have something there for coal miners. Look, we need to have jobs. We need to have opportunity. We need to have healthcare. We need to have education open for those people in McDowell County and other places like that around the country. Now, Bernie Sanders is the only one saying yes. Let's absolutely do that. Let's not ignore these people that are in these areas. Let's not ignore these parts of the countries because you know these people are important. These people deserve healthcare too. These people deserve to be listened to. They should be inside this conversation. And unfortunately, for most mainstream politicians, they're not. What did Hillary Clinton say? She said, "I'm going to shut down the coal industry. I'm going to shut down all those coal jobs." One of the most, that's one of the biggest gaffes that you could make. Instead of saying we should tamp down our use of coal, but first we need to make sure before we can do that that the people there that are working those jobs have better paying jobs that are safer and more, and you can raise a family on them, and health care. We got to guarantee that first before we can shut down those coal mines. She didn't do that. It was a huge, huge gaffe and a huge mistake on her part. And it definitely lost her any support in West Virginia. But anyway, look, another thing that would help people in McDowell County that's progressive, transforming our energy grid, as Bernie Sanders says, into one that is primarily clean and renewable energy. You don't think those coal miners in West Virginia would take those jobs if they paid the same or more in a heartbeat? Yeah, of course they would. Chris Hayes did a town hall and he asked them, he said, hey, if there were good jobs that weren't in the coal industry, would you take them? In a heartbeat. Look, it turns out the progressive agenda pulls well around among all Americans, while the corporate agenda does not. So why in the world would you, a Democrat, ever side with Neil Gorsuch? Neil Gorsuch is a corporatist. In all of his positions, he has ruled in favor of corporations, of big business, going even so far as above and beyond conservatives in his dissents, saying, no, we would have helped out, if I were in charge, I would have helped out corporations even more than you. To the extreme. And it's either because you either support that or you don't really know your voters. Very few people in West Virginia and North Dakota are saying, yay establishment, yay corporations, yay extreme right wing. No, nobody except Joe Manchin and Heidi Heitkamp. You guys love corporations. You side with them and the right wing because, look, you guys are corporatists. You guys are right-wingers. That's the problem here. No, well, I'm just reflecting the will of my voters. My voters are super, super conservative. Are you sure? Are you sure you're not just reflecting the will of your donors? The big money interests. And see, that's all you ever do, Joe. You vote for Republican policies, Republican nominees, despite the fact that Merrick Garland was blocked for nearly an entire year without a hearing. That is 293 days that he sat there without a hearing. They stole this seat, and Joe Manchin and Heidi Heitkamp are going to reward them with a Trump pick. Not just a Trump pick, but a vote. Remember, these guys got their hearing. Gorsuch got his hearing. Merrick Garland did not. No. And look, also, the other problem here is doing this provides good cover for the right wing. Oh, see, look at Gorsuch. Not so bad. Oh, see, you should be more like the reasonable Joe Manchin and the reasonable Heidi Heitkamp and not block our nominee. Where were the reasonable voices when they were blocking Merrick Garland? Where's reasonableism then, huh? I think I just made up a word, but it doesn't matter. Where's being reasonable, huh? What happened then? What happened to being reasonable? Ridiculous. And then, of course, you have the pathetic corporate media talking about how qualified and how moderate Gorsuch is. Oh, look, he's not so bad. He's not really extreme at all. No, he's a very, very qualified pick. Oh, man, we love Neil Gorsuch. We love this guy. Oh, look at Donald Trump. He didn't pick someone absolutely batshit insane. Really? He picked someone very, very extreme. To the right. Oh, but he's presented well. He looks the part. And he sides with the Republicans. Or he sides with corporations. Media. Do your jobs. This is absolutely grotesque. And Congress. You know what they should do? Democrats, let them blow up Congress. Let them do the nuclear option so they can own it. So they can ram anybody they want through. I mean, look, Gorsuch is getting through no matter what. Whether it be corporate hacks like, Manchin and Heitkamp voting for him, or them ramming him through with the nuclear option. Do it. Let this be one of the things that sinks the Republican Party. Look, they don't respect the minority. Let them prove it. And then hammer them on their hypocrisy all the way until 2018. You remember Mitch McConnell talking about, oh, you've got to respect the rights of the minority. Oh, man, Harry Reid, you better not do the nuclear option. You got to respect the rights of the minority. Well, what happened to respecting the rights of the minority? It went out the window as soon as they got into power. Ridiculous. Manchin, Heitkamp. Hey, you got to watch out now. You got a primary coming. You vote for Neil Gorsuch, I can guarantee there's going to be a primary. We'll see you in 2018. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.